that Hamas were effectively like so many terrorist and radical movements throughout history. They build an incredibly elaborate terrorist infrastructure throughout Gaza, miles and miles of underground tunnels, very, very elaborate systems.
A scientific quest to find the Holocaust escape tunnel.
Some effectively crawl spaces, others large enough to drive military vehicles from one end of Gaza to the other.
In the wake of the battle, the Jews in the ghetto worked feverishly to build underground bunkers to resist German commands to surrender and to force the Germans to find them.
Which the IDF does. The civilized army seeks to minimize the civilian casualties. When an army like that encounters an army that not just desires death for its enemy, but desires death for the people it purports to govern, this thing of the ecstasy in bringing death, it's a death cult, a cult that literally worships death.
Did the youth movements have the right to decide their fates? It was not easy for youth who saw themselves as educators to become fighters. Their choiceless choice was between death and death.
It's a death cult.
To be murdered at the hands of the Nazis or to die fighting them with their human dignity intact. But how? Most of them were in terrible physical condition, and they had no weapons. They were forced to train with sticks and imaginary arms.
They call them the Pioneers of Liberation and the Sword of Jerusalem summer camp, run by Hamas and Islamic Jihad. These videos, posted by MEMRI, the Middle East Media Research Institute, show what the youth of Gaza are doing this summer.
They understood very well that they could not defeat the German army. Yet, they fought for their honor as human beings.
We did not come here to enjoy ourselves or to play or anything like that. We came with our souls, our blood, our martyrs, and are wounded to sacrifice ourselves for Palestine and for our people.
In time, they managed to smuggle a small amount of weapons into the ghetto, but their arsenal consisted in great part of primitive, homemade Molotov cocktails.
There's been no let-up in violence between Israeli forces and Palestinian youths. In the West Bank town of Tulkarem, several demonstrators were injured as Israeli troops fired live rounds at crowds throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails. The anger sparked by the death of the Palestinian teenager was evident. We're standing with the martyrs, says this Palestinian. Our battle with Israel is long and on.
When the Germans returned to the ghetto on January 18, 1943, to capture more Jews for deportation, a small group fought back.
Our message to Israel is that the blood of the martyrs will not have been spilled for nothing. We're staying here to free all Palestine.
They were systematically exterminating people.
A great center of culture destroyed.
One of the most important cities in Jewish history.
About 70,000 Jews murdered by the Nazis.
But in Gaza, though, Hamas not only built 400 miles of tunnels, but it built underneath all these structures, and they weaponized the law of war. This is why every hospital in Gaza, Hamas has been found in it. Because hospitals are protected places, the staff.
So they're hiding within the law, fundamentally.
Some people call it a human shield, but unique to the challenge that the IDF faced on October 8th was not a combatant, although they are a terrorist organization, but it's an army who has a human sacrifice strategy.
200 Palestinians have been released from Israeli.
It's a death cult, a cult that literally worships death. This thing of the ecstasy in bringing death.
Will these Israeli settlers' dreams come true?
I just think we need to kill them, every one of them, and that's it.
This thing of the ecstasy in bringing death. It's a death cult.
We deserve it.
Far-right Israeli settlers gathered near a hill just 3 kilometers away from Israel's continuous bombing of Gaza to dance and celebrate.
The civilized army seeks to minimize the civilian casualties.
Cheered on by influential members of Netanyahu's far-right coalition, Israel's emboldened settler movement said they will take over the entire Gaza Strip. The event, organized by settler organization Nahala, was heavily supported by Netanyahu's Likud party. As settlers boasted their plans of settling Gaza, the echo of bombs dropping on Gaza interrupted speeches at the conference and were greeted with applause.
This thing of the ecstasy in bringing death, it's a death cult, a cult that literally worships death.
The areas with Jewish community. Fill the areas with Jewish community. Fill the areas with Jewish
The ecstasy in bringing death, it's a death cult, a cult that literally worships death.
Every one of them, and that's it.
Because as I said, and we can see it unfolding in real time, as Israel's more successful militarily and the casualties mount, the resistance to what they're doing is going to grow.
Yeah.
And so even if they could take out Hamas militarily, which isn't obvious given its interpenetration with the civilian population.
Why didn't you fight back? There was resistance. There were those that decided that they would do something about it and take a stand.
What is it in humanity that has someone persevere and become strong and fight against that evil?
To risk their own lives and perhaps the lives of their families to help others. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things.
I did not want to give up, and I said, whatever they dish out to me, I'll take.
We did not come here to enjoy ourselves or to play or anything like that. We came with our souls, our blood, our martyrs, and are wounded to sacrifice ourselves for Palestine and for our people.
We're standing with the martyrs, says this Palestinian. Our battle with Israel is long and ongoing. We say to Netanyahu, we will bring you down as we did before with Ehud Barak in the Second Intifada. Our message to Israel is that the blood of the martyrs will not have been spilled for nothing. We're staying here to free all Palestine.